in people told me to stop talking about politics and intertwining it into the gaming news, everything has come full circle. Now, if you've been following the GI podcast, Ethos has been saying, Lex Luthor news. Ethos has been saying on the podcast at youtube.com/GI updates, weekly podcast, by the way, that he believes the main goal of these billionaires is that we don't own anything. And I tend to agree with that. I think they want to make sure that we don't own anything. They're building these AI plants, taking up all the GPUs, the RAM, the SSDs and shit like that. And I think they're trying to push us towards subscription services. And I can see it happening with consoles and stuff like that. I'm here to let everybody know that it's no longer a theory. They are saying the quiet part out loud. Remember when you said this shit doesn't affect you? Well, we'll see. Jeff Bezos says the quiet part out loud. Hopes that you'll give up your PC to rent one from the cloud. I was recently reminded of something Amazon chairman and founder Jeff Bezos said at a talk a few years ago, and given the direction our AI is taking, it seems increasingly relevant today. Microsoft has made no secret of its plans to create an AI-first Windows, with tensions between users and shareholders essentially reaching fever pitch over the last year or so. Microsoft has been leveraging its open AI-powered chatbot Copilot in a variety of half-baked integrations across various products. That shit is ass. There's an autopilot button in the Outlook. Man, who cares about this shit? Let's talk about what the fuck he said. Over the past few weeks, I've been trying hard in good faith to understand Microsoft's consumer strategy here. The consumer-grade Copilot apps and features simply aren't good by any objective measure. In years past, Microsoft would have slapped a beta tag on this type of thing to explain the performance delta. Yet here, Microsoft is actively marketing Copilot, and worse, many of the prompts and features it showcases in Copilot marketing don't actually work as advertised. It's because they were trying to rush the product to market. ChatGPT kind of took over the world, and everybody, including Google and Microsoft, were just trying to put out a competitor. And I agree. I think these products are in beta. They're not done. They're half-baked bullshit. Bezos himself says in this piece that humans tend to overestimate risk and underestimate opportunity. And while Lex Luthor has undoubtedly misfired on various lofty predictions in the past, his foresight with regards to things like online retail and cloud compute absolutely cannot be denied. Bezos is one of the most successful tech entrepreneurs in history after all, and his ability to predict and leverage trends has been a big part of that. So what prediction did Lex Luthor make back then that seems particularly poignant right now? Bezos thinks that the local PC hardware is antiquated, meaning a thing of the past. I know that's a big word. I know Kai Cenat just got you niggas into reading. I got you. And that future, which by the way, before I keep reading, I seen a clip going viral of people making fun of Kai Cenat having to have a dictionary out while he was reading. And that's how I know we are cooked as a society. Like, niggas is really cooking them in the comment section and shit. I'm like, guys, that's what the dictionary's for. If you don't know what the word means, you look it up. I do it all the time on this stream. I right click and then I search what the word means and I press the sound button to learn how to fucking pronounce it. That's what reading is. And you should on some real life shit, you should never stop learning, guys. That is the key to success in life. Education doesn't stop with school. I was like, bro, we're cooked. But anyways, and that the future will revolve around it's antiquated, and that the future will revolve around cloud computing scenarios where you rent your computer from companies like Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure. Luthor trying to bring back Rent-A-Center type shit. Bezos told an anecdote about visiting a historical brewery to emphasize his point. He said that hundreds of years old brewery had a museum celebrating its heritage and had an exhibit for a 100-year-old electric generator they used before national power grids were a thing. Bezos said he saw the generator in the same way he sees local computing solutions today, inferring on the hopes that users will move away from the local hardware to rented, always online, cloud-based solutions offered by Amazon and other similar companies. So you hear what he said. This is what he wishes for, and I'm here to let everybody know, don't fall for the trap. So I'm gonna tell you how they're gonna try to do this shit. You remember, you can clip this shit too. The way they're going to try to introduce all cloud computing for everybody is they're going to try to present it as this thing is like making your life easier, where it's like, oh man, think about having to lug around that big, powerful PC, eating up all the electricity. Wouldn't it be nice to just log in and just get your work done? You just need a monitor, or you could do it from your phone. Your electricity bill will be smaller because we'll be handling everything on our side. The problem with this is now you own nothing. You control nothing. Also, you think they have our data now? Nigga, if the computer runs off their computers and we're streaming it, they're gonna know every fucking thing about you against your own will. And then also, on some real doomsday shit, and this is why I said don't accept this, don't entertain this bullshit. On some real life shit, we all know these billionaires. We know this nigga evil. He fights Superman. What they're going to do is, if at any point these billionaires introduce something that we don't like, let's say, because here's how they'll try to get you, right? When it comes to dealing drugs, a lot of times drug dealers will either give you a free sample or they'll give it to you for really cheap. An example being Netflix when it first came out. That shit was $8 a month. Look at it now. So when they first introduced this stuff, what they're gonna do is they're gonna be like $5 a month. And you can have the 6090. You can have the most powerful GPU in the world. You can do whatever you want. And then 2-3 years down the road, that 5 gonna turn to 10, that 10 gonna turn to 20, that 20 gonna turn to 30. They're gonna be able to charge whatever the fuck you want. And then when we revolt against the machine, what's gonna happen is, oh, y'all don't wanna pay for this shit? Well, we're just gonna cut off access to everything. Like right now, you have control because you have your computer at home. But if they control the computers and you say or do something they don't like, you know what's gonna happen? They're going to cut your shit off. This is gonna stop people from being able to organize. So this is why I said don't accept this shit. And don't, because there's always gonna be some, you really think they would do? Yes. The thing you have to understand about people like this is they like control. In order to get to this status of being a billionaire, you have to be a fucking control freak. Millionaires, it's a little different. Most millionaires, if you look up the data, they usually come from poverty or middle class and they're self-made. But once you start getting into that $100 million bracket and higher, usually those people are not good people. You gotta lower people's wages. You gotta make people come in when they sick, work on holidays type shit. Like, these are not good people. It's proven through sales data and training. Yep. Why bro look like Professor X? Nah, he like fucking he like Lex Luthor. That's what he looked like. There's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of exploitation going on, bro. A lot of exploitation. You have to get Mangekyo status. Yo, real shit. That's a great nerd way of putting it. If you want to become a billionaire, you gotta kill Sushui or whatever that nigga name was. You gotta be Itachi and you gotta kill that nigga. You gotta kill your best friend, bro. Like, so I'm just giving you a heads up. There are already murmurs. They're whispering other shit, bro. You got to kill your bestie. Do not entertain this shit, bro. Build your PC. Hold on to your console. Like, I'm cool. I'm always cool with as long as it's an option. If it's an option and you want to entertain it as an option, that's fine. But we should never get to a place where we don't own anything. Nah, you don't want that. Trust me. They're going to overstep their boundaries. These people want us to control their lives. They love that we play God with their lives. Nah, I'm good. When I say this stuff, I was getting called a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, it don't look so crazy. I think people are more inclined to listen now because I think people see we're inching towards this type of stuff. But yeah, maybe like 5 years ago, you might have been too soon. 10 years ago, you might have been too soon. But I feel like the writing's on the wall. And the worst part is, not only do they want you to not own a computer, DDR3 RAM is back, guys. That's right. Windows XP, Windows Vista level RAM is back, guys. We're in such a RAM shortage. Not only are we selling 3060 GPUs, we're selling DDR3 RAM. If you don't know, the current high-end RAM, the highest I believe is DDR6. Most gaming PCs have DDR5. So that's what you want. This is a couple generations ago, bruh. They're about to start selling you DDR3 RAM, and I'm here to let you know, don't fall for it. We are going back. I cannot stress this enough. As a society, we're supposed to move forward. Dude, they're gonna try to charge. They're trying to give you PS3 level RAM and then try to charge you for today's prices for the shit, and then use the excuse, man, we ran all out. Well, whose fault is that? You wanted to build all them data centers. You wanted to poison the air and shit. Fucking. It's gonna be interesting to see what the PS6 cost. It's gonna be interesting. People need to start being more anti-AI with this shit. I feel like people are starting to get more and more anti-AI. Like, that's why you're seeing companies come out and saying, like, I've seen DC Comics come out and say that none of their comics will ever be drawn or written by AI. Like, you're seeing companies start to do that shit. Dell just announced that they're not doing any more AI PCs. First of all, I don't even know what the fuck that means, but they said they're not doing any more AI PCs because they looked at the data and they realized that humans don't care about that shit. It's a very niche tool for very specific things, but for the everyday person, it's not useful in my opinion. This is all a large ploy to get us to use cloud-based computing. Yeah, and I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it. Other news, Call of Duty sales are in the toilet, and depending on how you feel, you might feel. Personally, I feel they need to be humbled. Former Activision CEO Bobby Kotick claims in a legal filing that Call of Duty sales in 2025 were down 60% in comparison to 2024. In a statement, he said, COD is on track to perform over 60% below last year because of intense competition from titles like Battlefield, destroying the FTC's now defeated argument about the lack of competition in the first-person action game category. It's funny too, because in the comment section, a lot of people were saying Battlefield, it's because of Arc Raiders. Before Arc Raiders came out, like, oh, did they come out around the same time? Like, you know, I really hate revisionist history. Don't get me wrong. Battlefield 6's player base is on the decline, but let's not act like Battlefield 6 wasn't eating Call of Duty's lunch when it first came out. Everybody was on Battlefield's dick the first month and a half, bruh. And then Arc Raiders came out and then it ate their lunch. So he's not wrong. It's a combination of Battlefield and Arc Raiders. It shows you how fast the internet moves, that people just all of a sudden, like, I get you guys like it and that's the hot game right now, but there's no reason to lie. There's no, you don't sell 20 million copies by act, so nobody played it. Nobody played it. Nobody played it. Nobody fucking played it, huh? Oh shit! This is just suddenly just liking shit, like just fucking sheep, man. Hold up, bro. Let me get one. It was a tag team effort. Don't get me wrong. Arc Raiders got it right now, but Battlefield did start it. He's not wrong about that. Maybe he's not in tune with this statement, and that's why he probably didn't say Arc Raiders. So he probably just thinks it was Battlefield, or maybe he doesn't view Arc Raiders as a direct competitor because it's a third-person shooter, and he's probably looking at it as Battlefield was a first-person shooter. So that was who got us. Yo, shout out to bruh man with the gifted subs in the YouTube chat. I appreciate you. Big gifted memberships. Thank you. I refuse to play Arc Raiders. Why you refuse to play it? It's a decent game. It's a decent game. I mean, this L was well deserved. I'd argue, why did it take this long to get here is the question. I feel like Call of Duty's numbers should have dwindled 10 years ago, but I feel like at bare minimum in recent memory, it really should have happened when Modern Warfare 3 came out. Modern Warfare 3 that was supposed to be Modern Warfare 2 DLC. What was that, like 2-3 years ago? That should have been like the game that pissed people off. That was the most half-baked ass bullshit, and they still ate it up. Like to be 100% fair, Black Ops 7 is a better game than Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, I said it. But for some reason, they chose not to support this one over the actual bad product. Not that this is a great product, because it's just Battlefield, it's just Black Ops 6.5, but Modern Warfare 3 was a good game. Nah, it wasn't even a game. It was DLC. It wasn't a game. Community just got me not wanting to play it. They really identifying with the game for the sake of Division. Oh, you saying they riding a little too hard for it versus like, are you actually having fun? It seems like it does feel like a lot of them are just pushing an agenda and you can't say anything. Shit's annoying, but it is what it is. Are we talking about the original Modern Warfare? The recent one, not the original Modern Warfare. See, you see how confused. This is why this game needs to go away, bro. Please don't get it confused. I'm not talking about the original Modern Warfare 3. I'm talking about Modern Warfare 3 that came out a couple years ago. Are we having revisionist history? Because everybody hated that game. That was Modern Warfare 2 DLC. It had no real story mode, regurgitated gameplay and weapons and maps and shit. That wasn't a real game. And that's not what I think. That's literally what they said. It was supposed to be. How can you defend? This is how I know. The Call of Duty community is crazy. Activision came out and said, Modern Warfare 3 was originally supposed to be a Modern Warfare 2 DLC. But they looked at the whiteboard and they said, we don't have anything big to release next year. So instead, we're gonna just call it a full game. And motherfuckers ate that shit up. That's the game that should have pissed a lot of y'all off. But for some reason, it was this one. But whatever. I'll take it. I think Call of Duty needs to take a break. I mean, realistically, I'm gonna be honest. I wish they would just end the franchise. I've had enough Call of Duty. Like, I can never play Call of Duty again and I'll be fine. I'm gonna be 100% honest. But we know how capitalism works. Capitalism is not going to stop being greedy. Capitalism is all about extracting resources. So they're not gonna stop making it until it absolutely dies. Greed. Yeah. So because of that, at bare minimum, they should take 2-3 years off, maybe 5. And then when they come back, they don't even have to do anything mind-blowing. An example being college football. College football was not that College football 25 was not that mind-blowing of a game. It's just you hadn't played it in 15 years, so it felt like it. Yeah, I said it. You think I'm wrong? College football 26. Nobody really likes that game. Everybody's like, oh. Capitalism is an Ouroboros. It's just a snake eating its own tail type shit. Somebody had replied to my comment too, and he was like, it's not capitalism. It is. It's greed, bro. Corporate greed. And the fact that people don't understand this shit, man. That's what sucks about living in America. Like, the curriculum is different from state to state. I don't know about y'all, but when I went to high school, I took American government. I took AP American government. It's a lot of people out here that just, they don't even know the three branches. Like, it's crazy. Let alone how capitalism works, right? It's like 3 Modern Warfare 3s, they can can it. Shit is sad. We straight slave in so many of these aspects. They're slaves to it and they don't even realize it. You're a victim, bro. You're a victim. Facts, both college football games are mid gameplay feels. I wouldn't even call it mid. College football was like a solid 7. It's a fun arcadey football game. It's just with college football 26, they didn't do enough different. And to be fair, it's because they can't do enough different. And you're now making 2 football games a year. What else can you do with that damn franchise? You can make what? The crowd's a little bit louder. Ooh, like, I don't get off that shit. Anyways, other news. The real reason aside is from the constant consumerism. Yeah, people play a role too. Steam Machine verified games are incoming, but they'll be different to the Steam Deck verified. For those unaware, on the Steam Deck platform, they have something called Steam Deck Verified, where basically, if you, the developer, optimize your game to run really well on the handheld Steam Deck, you'll get a label and a check mark that says this game is Steam Deck verified, promising the consumer that it runs well on the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck is a handheld. It's not as powerful as a big PC, right? So it helps the shopper figure out what runs well on the handheld. And also, if you're Steam Deck verified, you get front page access. So there's an incentive to be on the front page of Steam and get some advertising. That will also be coming to the Steam Machine whenever this thing comes out. But apparently it's going to work differently. Steam Machine verified games are incoming. Valve has confirmed it will take time to check thousands of titles on its platform so that we know at glance whether a game will work on the new black box of Game Wonders. However, while the similar Steam Deck verified program has quite strict requirements, Valve has said that the Steam Machine verification is going to have fewer constraints, such as that if your title is verified on the Steam Deck, it will be verified on the Steam Machine. This confirmation, so the verification will be 2 different things, basically. Just because it's verified on the Steam Deck doesn't mean that it's verified for the Steam Machine and vice versa. This confirmation effectively signals that many might have expected, which is that the Steam Machine will launch with far few larger library of verified games in the Steam Deck. That's despite the new best gaming PC contender still being restricted by running Valve's Linux-based SteamOS and using relatively modest hardware compared to modern mid to high-end PCs. Specifically, while speaking to game developer, Valve's Lawrence Yang says that devs hoping for a Steam Machine verified badge could expect fewer constraints than it currently is required for Steam Deck verification. One easy rule of thumb is that if your title is verified on Steam Deck, it will be verified on the Steam Machine. Continues Yang. Oh, never mind. It is going to work like that. So what that says to me is if you're interested in getting a Steam Machine, you probably should watch some reviews on YouTube and see what people are saying about the performance on the Steam Machine. Because I'm pretty sure there's going to be YouTube channels popping up of people specializing in creating content just for the Steam Machine. Because I mean, there's already creators that do content strictly for the Steam Deck, how to mod it, how to get the most FPS out of your game and stuff like that. So you're going to see content creators pop up and specialize in Steam Machine content. If you're interested in buying one, I would say definitely be on the lookout for those creators on different social media pages, because they're saying right now that it's not going to have as many constraints. They're very strict about what's verified on the Steam Deck, which makes sense because it's not as powerful. But because the Steam Machine will be a little bit more powerful, they're probably going to give it a little bit more leeway, especially because you'll be given the option to go into the settings and turn the graphics down if you need to be. So if I have a sneaky suspicion that if your game can run at 60 FPS on medium settings, 1080p, it'll probably be Steam Machine verified. It's not going to be something super high end. Steam Machine's a cool 1080p 60F machine for kids. Other than that, it's trash. It depends on the pricing. So I mean, you get the gist of it. OLED owner haven't had a game I played be unsupported. Yeah, I mean, it gets good support. What didn't get good support, this is a great segue, is the performance on Monster Hunter. There's a Reddit user that claims they figured out what causes Monster Hunter Wild's performance issues, and it's kind of wild. Take it with a grain of salt. According to their investigation, owning more DLC equals more FPS. That's right, you got to pay more to get your game to run well. This is due to an aggressive check the game does to see what DLC you own. It is not intentional by Capcom, but this constant check causes performance dips. The user created a mod that tricks the game into thinking you own all the DLC and noticed immediate improvements. All information has been sent to Capcom support. This same user has already helped Capcom solve a performance issue in Dragon's Dogma 2. Also, this dude is legit. I ain't gonna hold you. You doing God's work over. You're doing their job. They should be paying you. I hope, listen, man, if you created this mod and then you sent it to them and just gave it to them for free, great for the community, but that's a lot of work, bro. I need you to get your check. Yeah, Capcom, can you hire him? Because he's done it for not one, but two of your games. Can you hire this man so he can teach your team how to optimize for fucking games? Could be possible the DRM is checking for content constantly. Yeah, it could be that, yeah. It kind of seems like what they're hinting at. That's good that they got a fix. Hopefully they deploy it on a larger scale. Yeah, he's clearly talented. Hook my man up with a job. If you can't cut him a check, give my man a job, man. Come on. Yeah, I seen Maximilian use the mod. And did he say it's running better? Sheesh. And then last but not least, we hit a new low in the gaming space. I seen this about 2 days ago. Yeah, January 12th. It appeared on my For You page. It went viral. It's got 3 million views. And I thought this was legit. This user on Twitter, Minesweeper, tweeted, "After playing today, I can confidently say this shit is ass." And he posted a screenshot of his Steam library with a screenshot of Highguard. Now, when I first saw this, my brain did go, because I did think, I didn't hear anything about a beta or an alpha test. They've been quiet on social media. But at the same time, I don't know this person. I have no reason to call them a liar, so I give people the benefit of the doubt. I just kept scrolling. I'ma still try the game for myself, but I was like, damn, this game can't catch a break. This is bad press. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 2 days later, this tweet appeared back on my timeline with a Twitter community note stating, "This is a fake edited screenshot and the poster did not play Highguard. The game icon does not match the current icon from SteamDB." This already has 3 million views. It took 2 days for this community note to come out. I need them to get faster at getting these community notes out because this is bullshit. Whatever you think of the game, this is bullshit. I thought the new low was posting screenshots of how many players are online for a game to try to ruin a game's clout. I thought that was corny. This is fucking, what do you gain from this? These are people with jobs. Yes, spreading misinformation. It's crazy. What do you gain from this? And I said, I hope y'all starting to see it, and you gotta be careful about who you follow. I said I first noticed it with Concord. That Concord beta came out. Me and my friends played it. We said it was all right. It wasn't mind blowing. We said it was all right. But the week that beta came out, somebody posted a screenshot showing there was only 2,000 people on the server, and it went viral, and people are saying, oh, this game is trash. Now, Splitgate, I don't like what they did, but in their press conference, they said player count does not equate to fun, and that is true. Right message, wrong messenger. Unfortunately, people saw them player counts, and they said that shit is ass, and the game just died after that. And now I'm getting clowned. Somebody who actually played the game, giving an actual honest opinion on it. I'm getting clowned by people who saw some tweet that went viral of somebody with an agenda. This goes back to the conversation I was talking about on the recent podcast too. What scares me about the AI shit coming to PlayStation 6 potentially, the ghost mode, if you haven't seen that story, Sony patented a technology that allows players to summon a ghost if you get stuck at any part of a game, and it'll show you how to beat it. Whether it's a boss, a puzzle, where to navigate. You know, I'm all for accessibility, but the problem is there needs to be some type of stopgap. If you abuse the ghost mode, the AI, I don't think you should earn achievements, especially on boss fights. Maybe I'll let the puzzles slide, but on boss fights, you shouldn't get no fucking achievements. It shouldn't say you didn't beat the game if you use AI to beat the fucking boss. And the reason I said that is one of the main ways we can see whether or not people have actually played a game is we check the achievements. Now, you don't have to have every achievement. You don't have to have those obscure ones where you find all the collectibles and stuff like that. But a telltale sign if somebody actually beat a game is you go check their achievements and you see they have that achievement that says they beat the game. Every fucking game has it. Achievements, trophies, you'll be able to see, right? If you can turn the AI on and you can just go beat the game and speed run it and get the achievements, now people are going to be like, I did play the game. See, look at my trophies, look at my achievements. Now they're on social media pushing agendas, talking about a game is trash. An example being, and I know this sounds like I'm being like a doomsday type of person, but you have to keep in mind, look what the Silk Song niggas did with Expedition 33. Expedition 33 swept the Game Awards. Silk Song niggas did not like that. They started pushing false agendas saying it wasn't an indie game. We found out they didn't know what the word indie meant. They misrepresented the story about the AI generation shit. There are people out there that are trying to push agendas, and it's going to keep you from great art. Because unfortunately, we doom scroll, we look at things, we see it's viral, and we just assume they have authority over X, Y, and Z. And that's not the case. So I think these AI features can make things even worse, I feel like. And it's unfortunate. Matter of fact, another example is, did I delete it? I think I deleted it. But you know what? I can bring it up right here. A lot of people in the chat were clowning me. I can show you right now with these achievements, right? A lot of people were clowning me because I waited to fight Simon. People thought I rage quit and I wasn't going to come back and this, that, and the third. Out of curiosity, I clicked this today, right? Simon in Expedition 33. If you didn't play Expedition 33, Simon is the secret boss. Easily one of the hardest bosses I've ever fought in a video game. I clicked the achievements. What'd that say right there? What'd that say, chat? Only 5% of gamers have gotten this achievement. Can we hit the fraud alert? Yeah, no YouTube build, by the way. But half the chat cracking jokes and shit. I'm part of that 5%. Statistically, not everybody is. Somebody in the fucking chat is lying, trying to push agendas. We ain't trying to hear that shit, bro. People lost the plot on what gaming is really about. Yeah, and I think that's the sad part, right? I think that's the sad part. Games are supposed to